everybody's trying to be famous too. Everybody's trying to be and don't understand the work that is put in. That's what you want. You want to be inspired, but be like approach the art with respect. And a lot of people are so disrespectful. And you got to have chops. You got to put the work in. That's just me. And that's what I know. I think being unique and being yourself, you know, being comfortable with yourself and surrounding yourself with good people.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl Bianca B, and welcome to the Bianca B Show, where we talk about business, finances, and friendships. So I'm super excited. We have actor and comedian. He is amazing. He is an icon. He is really just a dope human being and so talented. You may have seen him on social media and just seen him on your TV and on tour. So we're going to talk with him. Hi, Godfrey.
Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
How are you?
Boom, boom, boom. What's up? I'm good. Great. How about you?
I'm good. So thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me. So I kind of want to just get a backstory of like how you started out in the industry. I know you're from Chicago and you came out in like 1995 was like your first...
man. Started doing that in 1995 and fiddling around in Chicago at open mics and stuff like that. Was in a comedy team for a year with another guy, Godfrey and Alexander, and then kind of went solo after a while, because I was like, I'm not really digging the duo thing. It's a little hard, especially if we're not on the same page, and dragging along. And what's so funny is Steve Harvey had like something to do with me breaking up with the dude.
Really?
Yeah. It's when Steve Harvey was like, yeah, Mason, man, if it ain't working, man, cut his ass. I was like, all right. I just remember that they cut his ass. I was like, all right. So then just fiddling around doing stuff. And that's when I ran into Bernie Mac and his open mic days and doing urban and mainstream comedy all around Chicago. And yeah, that's how I started after college, and Tommy Davidson, Tommy Davidson.
Yes, he's amazing.
He came to my college and performed. And that was when I really got in college. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Cause, I'm in college and I'm talking that shit. And then I'm being political too. And I was like, but I'm funny with it. And I was like, yo, I should do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was a motivation, seeing Tommy Davidson. And then when I got back, because I went away for college. And when I got back into the city, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do these open mics and just see what it's about. And then once I started doing it, I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
I ain't no turning back. Whatever happens, happens. Fuck it. I like this. I like this freedom. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I moved to New York City, and then from there, it's just my whole comedy career just blossomed, just really working with some greats like Chris Rock and Chappelle and Jerry Seinfeld, Ray Romano, just, working with all kinds of amazing comedians up till now. So I've been there like 22 years. So it's been fantastic. So
that's amazing. And were you like one of those people that were like naturally funny? Like, yeah.
But my friends were too. Like everybody was, see, like, especially with, when you in college, high school, you always around funny ass people, right? You can name them, right? You can name people, going, oh yeah, my boy Mike, this person, this girl, she was funny. Yeah, it was always funny, but it was about who's going to take it to that next level. Yeah.
And how was the transition from being a comedian to an actor? Did you take classes? Were you one of those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Took classes, studied with some great acting teachers in New York and LA. Yeah, I took classes, man, coaching, you still do it when you can, but yeah, I did all that because I was like, I'm going to go to acting school because you watch people, like I was around a lot of people that were in theater in Chicago. So in theater is like the ultimate of acting. That's why you got Denzel and all these great actors, Morgan Freeman and from Brad Pitt to a lot of these people were trained on the stage. They did Broadway and off-Broadway theater. And I go, well, that's the ultimate. That's why you see their work. And I said, well, I ain't no Denzel, but I would like to at least be able to have some chops. So let me go take a class, So that's what I did. I took classes, because that's very important because it's a real craft. I know A lot of people want to skip. As you can see on a lot of television shows, you can tell people ain't been taking acting classes because, especially our folks, we think we can just frown and get in every scene, be like, yo, I told you, man, where my money at? You know?
Yeah. People are missing the process and the journey. I think with our generation that we don't take our time. We want to rush everything.
Ooh, yes. It's like everybody's trying to be famous too. Everybody's trying to be and don't understand the work that is put in. Even if they get put on quickly, as you can see how you see the whackness in it. It's like what is this shit I'm watching?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you see Denzel, when you see Alfred Woodard, when you see Angela Bassett, when you see even Megan Good, when you see that, you go, damn, you know why?
Mm-hmm.
They studied. That's why you feel a certain way when you watch them acting. They studied.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. A lot of times when you watch, when you're watching a lot of these corny ass shows, you don't have any, there's nothing. It's not impacting it. It's just surface. You're just watching it, but people aren't taking the lines and making it their own. Like I shouldn't see the writing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't see the writing. It should be looking like, yo, did they just make that up?
Yeah.
Damn, someone wrote that? Yeah.
And something I admire about you and looking at your resume was that you worked every single year since you've been on TV. Like I was like, he literally worked every year. You had something. How have you maintained being in this business? And what are like 3 things that you've learned throughout this business?
Well, what I've learned is hard work, like Denzel says, and I love Denzel's the hero. So hard work works. I'm not worrying about other people's thing, not always, because it's easy to like, it's easy to worry about other people's shit, because they love comparing people.
Yeah.
Especially with us, they'll let one person be famous and give one of us everything. And then we start pitting ourselves against each other, because then you start doubting yourself. You're like, well, wow, he has 18 movies and I can't even get a Q-tip commercial. Like, you know what I mean? Or sometimes when you go in to auditions, they'll say, we want a Kevin Hart-like person, and I go, Kevin's my man, but I'm not Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And why? And it's almost racist in a way when they do that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? When they go, you want this kind of person, so we're all that one guy or that one girl. That's not fair. You should just say, hey, give us what you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's another thing is, I think being unique and being yourself, being comfortable with yourself and surrounding yourself with good people that actually give a shit, because we're in a business of psychopaths. We're in a business of narcissistic, depraved, backstabbing pieces of shit. So, and it could be your friend, the person you've been rolling with. As soon as they get something, they don't know you no more, or vice versa. You might be the one, you might be faking it till you make it. So you want to get around people, to me, this is just me, that tell you when you're doing wrong, and you can tell them, and no one gets fired or gets pissed. You can go, no, we ain't wearing that.
Yeah.
At the Met Gala, we're not going to wear that with your cheeks out. Nah, we're not doing it. No, you know what I'm saying? You want people that really give a fuck about you, whether it's one person, whether it's 5, whatever. That's another thing, that is important. I think so.
Yeah. And going into the comedy world, in this generation, there's a lot of cancel culture, and, comedians can't really express themselves like how they used to back in the day when you watch old comedy shows.
Oh, yeah. It was,
It was intense. I grew up on Def Comedy Jam, and
we went in. But for Black people, we're not really the ones that are mad at cancel culture. Black folks we still do our thing. Black cult comedy doesn't get affected by that shit. We still go in.
Facts. And so going into the financial part of things, what have you learned in this business financially? Like, where have you seen, is it TV money better? Is it role money better? What have you seen?
Well, I don't.
What advice could you give to like young people who like come from skits and want to go into acting and things like that?
Well, I never had my own TV show. So I've been on TV shows, but I'd never had my own. I would like one, you know, in my own discretion. I'd like it with integrity and doing it without some coaxing or foolishness where, you know, you got to compromise your manhood or your culture. I'm not doing that. But I'd like to have one because I think there's room for everybody. There's so many platforms now. And I've taken advantage of social media big time.
Big time.
You know, getting out of my own way and my old school ways. I've combined forces with wonderful people like King Batch and Rennie and his whole crew, and really learning how to do it. And it's become really fun, you know. You got to put the work in, but TV money is definitely way better. You know, TV money is better because I think it comes more often. Movies take longer to make, you know. But if you can do, you know, if you can get movie money, it's great because I love film. I'd love to do more films. I've done some. I'd love to do more films. And TV is good depending on the project. You know what I mean? But TV money is amazing. You know, it's amazing. Like, whew, if you can get that, but that's why they're so difficult. It's difficult to get in because they know there's a lot of money being made. That's why they're so ready to snatch shit from you. But they go, well, oh, you said that. Looks like you can't be the next door mailman. You know, when I watch Denzel, that's what I want to be like. Samuel Jackson, that's what I want to be like. Snipes, that's what I want to be like. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I want to be like that. Forrest Whitaker, I want to be like that. I want to be like these, you know what I'm saying? These guys that have integrity, that have never had to compromise themselves, you know, that actually choose, you can tell they choose their work because they do it very wisely because their quality of work is fantastic. But a lot of other cats that go, nope, can't do that. You know, that's just me. And to each his own. And you said to give advice for other people. You said, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Advice to, you know, like people who are coming out in this industry and they're kind of trying to decide, do I want to do comedy? Do I want to stick with that and being on the road? Or do I want to venture out into TV and to films?
Well, comedy in the road is very difficult. Like the road nowadays, people make more money on the road. There's comedians that don't even need to do TV.
Wow.
Because they're getting 50 to 100,000 every couple days. So it's like, because even look at music, touring is where you get money.
Right.
Like the whole downloading, they're screwing artists like crazy. I mean, the deal for artists is so horrible that touring is how they make their money.
Yeah.
And I love performing live. I'm glad that I put my time in to where I am a national and international headliner, because it is very difficult to do comedy. And and listen, I'm not the gatekeeper to comedy. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But I know one thing, you better know what the fuck you're doing. Excuse all this cursing, but you better know what you are doing. It is not a game. This thing will eat your ass up. Comedy, stand-up comedy. I'm talking about I don't care a damn about your skits, none of that. Because people will eventually want to see you.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, I want to see this person live, you know, and you got to have chops. You got to put the work in. That's just me. And that's what I know. I don't know if there's a new drug you can take to do better stand up. I don't know. But all I know is you got to show up and put the time in and work at it all the time, like I do, you know, because I'm be doing some stand up right after this interview in about an hour or two. So I'm always working, and I got my weekend stuff, but I always work in between in the middle of the week in New York City to sharpen, keep stuff sharp. But yeah, I tell people, if you really love it, like, are you just trying to be famous? Some people just want to be famous so they just want to be famous. Like, so there's a difference between actually like, I really want to be good at this craft. And if the fame and the fortune come, good, because I deserve it because I'm doing good work. But a lot of mediocrity is being is what we're watching. So more mediocre people want to do shit. You know, there was a time where you see some people who were talented and you were doubtful. Well, I don't know if I can do that. That's what I want to come back. Like you watch Michael Jackson, you'd be like, shit, this motherfucker. You don't even think about wanting to do that. You're like, damn. You see Gladys Knight and the Pips, you see Janet, you see Nas, you see Wu-Tang, you're like, damn, I don't even know. You know, that's what you want. You want to be inspired, but be like, approach the art with respect. And a lot of people are so disrespectful. They're just like, and the thing is they're letting people in. There's a lot of mediocre people just on TV all the time, you know, and maybe it's because you can pay them less to do it, or, you know, excuse my French.
No, it's okay.
But you know what I'm saying? That's what I think. And I don't know, but I'm still grinding it out. I'm very thankful for all my accomplishments. Don't get me wrong. I'm not somebody here complaining. I'm the fact that I can do what I do for the past 25 plus years, never have a job, but be doing this, making people laugh, going around the world, and being respected and being able to go. It's unreal. It's amazing. I'm living in Manhattan, like in New York City, like telling jokes. What? I put my time in. I take it seriously. So
someone who, you do a lot of impressions, and, Steve Harvey is one of, like, someone you impersonate a lot. So going into the friendship side of things, who are some people that you look up to that are your peers and people you get advice from?
That I look up to. I look up to the old school cats. That's the thing. But I like guys like George Wallace. I still like watch Seinfeld here and there. Jon Stewart, Rock. I watch Chris Rock still. I got peers like there's a guy named David Tell. There's a guy named Greer Barnes. And like these guys are some are unknown. I got Ruben Paul, my boy out of LA, who's amazing. So there's guys that are unknown and known. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And we stick with each other. My other boy Dante Nero, who does my podcast all the time, he's a comedian. I get a lot of counsel from him. So yeah, man. Chappelle, I know. So even Kev, every once in a while we talk sometimes. It was different cats. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. So you be grinding. You got your podcast. You got the tour coming up. Viewers, what else do you have going on?
Like my tour is called Hard in the Paint Tour. I call it the Hard in the Paint Tour.
Okay.
I go hard in the paint, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving too. I'm dunking. Boom. I ain't passing the ball. I'm dunking. I'm like 90s basketball, Chicago Bulls. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I got that. And doing different podcasts, and also the new Nick Cannon has a new show coming out. It's called Council Culture, which I'm part of. It's like The View, but with men. Rotation of us on there, and I'm one of the panelists on there. And doing Wildin' Out, and just and then doing animation. I'm on a new animation series, Good Times, which is coming out on Netflix at some point.
That's amazing.
Yeah, with Cree Summer from Different World is my producer, and we got that going, and just other things that you don't want to say. You want to wait until it happens. So yeah, man. So there's a lot of good things, and I'm making a lot of noise on social media, and I can feel it. Yeah. So yeah, and I'm trying to create my own thing. Just constantly trying to create and come up with other things. We have a writer's strike now, so I think that still. It's time to still continue to create while that's happening. But yeah, man, it's just consistency, man. Consistency and being present and being hip with what's going on, because it's moving. Things are moving fast, man. Yeah. Things are moving fast as hell. And I surround myself with people who know what's going on.
Well, thank you so much. Where can people follow you?
Follow me on Instagram, Comedian Godfrey. Also, my podcast is In Godfrey We Trust on Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern when we're on time-ish. Also, go to my website, godfreylive.com, so you'll know where I'll be. You can get tickets online. And also my TikTok, which I actually use. It's Godfrey Comedian. Yeah, Comedian Godfrey's Instagram, Godfrey Comedian is my TikTok. So I'm using everything, Instagram, TikTok. So that's where you can find me.
Amazing. It's your girl Bianca B. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at It's Bianca B and at Bianca B Show. Thank you guys for listening.